Hi, I chose to do my topic for my informational speech on stereotyping. The reason I chose this is because I feel like throughout my life and my middle school years, I was taught about stereotyping in my school. I feel like stereotyping has so many portions to it through our society that we should really learn about and dive and create our focus in regards to how to not stereotype and be more intentional with ourselves rather than for other people. So stereotyping has a little bit of meaning behind it. It's more generalized in regards to how we view others when they're not actually being viewed that way. So, for example, if I took a leaf that was downstairs and up here I thought that the leaf was actually yellow, whereas when I went downstairs to go look at the leaf was actually orange. So my thought process on the leaf down here is totally different than the thought process of what the leaf is actually colored. We see society have a lot of stereotypes because of the way that humans are and how we coordinate ourselves. Throughout society, we can see stereotyping in friendships, religion, we see them in schools, we see it in healthcare, we can also see them within family relationships. We can also stereotype our cats, children. The list can go on with stereotyping. Within schools, we can a lot of times see stereotyping as bullying, which is not okay. And so to stop that is something I want to talk about as well. The areas that I feel like we see stereotyping in the United States most often is within our friendships, family, and our schools. Our schools, especially public schools, can see stereotyping much more often than others. Within my research through the Valencia College database, I have found that our own beliefs can be definitely different than how reality really is. And our assumptions may not always be clear to what the actual reality is, and to stop that is something that I really think that America could help. And to stop stereotyping, we have to kind of realize what our individual worth is and focus solely on ourselves rather than other people. To do that, we can focus on journaling about our days. We can focus on how our personal lives are affected when other people bring in thoughts so that we can see it from the outside perspective on why this is bad. I also think that if we bring in self-awareness, we can really see that stereotyping is not okay, because when we stereotype and we assume something that it isn't, then using self-awareness, we can really dive into the truth of what it is. I also think that involving diverse perspectives is another way to help stop stereotyping, because having the thought of having diverse perspectives can help us to realize that there's so many more differences and areas in our life that do not have to be held in assumption. And I also feel like us as people can really help gather everybody else to have and to stop stereotyping. Stereotyping a lot of times will cause disagreements, heartbreak, and even people to have thoughts about themselves that they shouldn't because of what someone else has assumed or said about them. So for example, if I were to be in middle school and someone tied me into a stereotype that did not go with my values, then that would allow me to have these thoughts inside my head that weren't really clear and weren't really valid if it was not the stereotype that I would fit into, or as if I felt I fit into. Stereotyping can also be a mode of someone feeling like they're not enough because they have to put someone else into a group to make themselves feel better. There's good stereotyping and there's bad stereotyping. I think there's good stereotyping when someone succeeds in something and you want to put them in a group of people that are good to be shown as someone who is a good person. Whereas there's bad stereotyping, and in regards to crime, sometimes we stereotype people who did a crime, and because of sometimes their race, they are stereotyped in a certain way that makes them look innocent or guilty in whatever crime it was. So it can really have two ties to it, but at the end of the day, stereotyping is something that is all around society and can be stopped at the end of the day. Thank you.